Hi, I'm Janet Fielding. I played Tegan in Doctor Who, the Five-ish Fangirls. Have a good time.
The tangents at Squee continue all the way to episode 191 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So we're going to go back to the regular format, kind of, sort of, maybe. We'll see. This is going to be an experiment this episode, so bear with us, folks. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week. We'll go to the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Hallie from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
We are trying something. I am temporarily on a different computer that I am not used to whatsoever, so I had to fiddle with things, and so this may sound different than what everybody is used to. Hopefully it's tolerable. So
and as always, leave us feedback.
yes.
Good or bad. Then we'll know.
Yeah.
Then we'll know what you like and what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to bear with us. I know I've said this almost every episode for like the last month, but you're gonna have to bear with us until I get a new computer. So, which is going to be a couple of months at least. So, until then, we're just gonna do things and hope that nothing self-destructs. So,
Yeah.
that
We don't
being
want the Five-ish Fangirls turning into an episode of Mission Impossible.
exactly. Exactly. We do not want this message to self-destruct. So, I'll get to that in a second. I have a complaint with Mission Impossible, but I'll get to that later. So,
Okay.
anyway. First up, news. So, we do have some news, since we didn't do news last week. So first up, some convention news. So, first up, Gen Con. If you have been sitting on your thumbs waiting to buy your passes for Gen Con, you may want to get on that. As of a few days ago, more than 90% of 4-day passes have been sold. So, single day passes are still available, but are expected to go quickly and even more quickly after the 4-day passes sell out, which they are going to. So, a Gen Con spokesman said about 80% of attendees at Gen Con will have a 4-day pass. So, it's going to be crowded again. Kind of like last year. So, bear that in mind. So, not sure how I feel about it. I don't know. I every year, like, I'm like, Gen Con scares me so much, and then I go and I'm like, it wasn't that bad, so I really just need to put on my big girl pants, and
They say that to weed out the weaklings.
I guess. they haven't knocked me out yet, so I don't know what that says about me. But yes, Gen Con is in less than 50 days. So coming up very quickly. Very, very quickly. And it should be a fun time. So get on it if you're planning on going. So there's that. In other Indiana convention-related news, the Indie Disney Meet, which is at the end of August, and they are still announcing guests and fun things, and friend of the show, Jeff Barnes, is going to be returning to the Indie Disney Meet. So, we had Jeff on last year after his appearance at last year's Indie Disney Meet to talk about his books at Disney and roller coasters and food, of course. Because we can't talk Disney and not talk food. So it'll be fun to see Jeff again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he will definitely, if he keeps up the current trend of posting pictures of himself eating various types of ice cream, more than likely he will do it again when he comes to Noblesville. Except it'll be a Dole Whip, but tomato.
I love this. Was like, in my defense.
Yes. Every time he's like, in my defense, this is the only thing they sold. In my defense, it's frozen yogurt, not ice cream. In my defense, it's Dippin' Dots. like, Jeff, just eat your ice cream and
it's yes. It's still cold and creamy, and it's summertime. Just eat it and enjoy it.
Exactly.
Eat your frozen dessert and be happy. Yep.
Yep. I'm sure that will be his post. In my defense, it's a Dole Whip. In my defense, it's pineapple. It's healthy. So,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be fun to have two people I know at the Disney Meet. So 2 people we've had on the show are going to be at the Disney Meet. So
Party.
Woo!
You should have a little mini impromptu podcast recording or something. I don't know.
We probably will.
Yeah. Cool. And over on this side of the flyover country, it's Salt Lake FanX has been busy little beavers. We've already announced Lucy Lawless from Xena, but Xena also needs her Gabrielle. They have Renee O'Connor coming, which is exciting. And then I might have spaced this out. I swear they already announced him, but they announced it again. So I don't know. Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things. Dustin. We love Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one that I'm pretty excited about is an author guest, Mercedes Lackey. If you very 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 prolific fantasy author, so it should be fun. We're Jared and I are both excited about Mercedes Lackey coming, as evidenced by the 2 shelves of Mercedes Lackey paperbacks we have on our book. This will be fun.
See, you wanted authors. There you go.
Yes, yes. Author Con, let's do it. Yeah, my Author Con thing I had forgotten last weekend was FireCon that was up about an hour north of us. Unfortunately, we had family commitment the same weekend, so we couldn't go. But I was like, oh man, there's my author convention. But that's okay. But next year, I think we're going to try to go to FireCon. Anyway, so that's all the convention news I have. Other than I'm still looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's still early, so.
Yeah, I mean, we've still it's the end of June. We've got till September, so.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out a cosplay, a little family cosplay we can do. We're leaning toward a Harry Potter theme right now.
There you go.
Because we have baby Harry and Jared has a Hagrid costume.
There you go.
If we can figure out my stuff, I might do a McGonagall, and we'll just do, the boy who lived.
I was about to suggest that you be McGonagall.
Yep. I mean, we'll have to find a plushy Dumbledore or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That would be awesome.
Early stages of planning, so no guarantees yet.
I'll talk to my aunt and see if she can borrow her cat named McGonagall.
Yeah, if Cats and I got along, but I am no cat whisperer, sadly.
Yay! And then last bit of kind of convention news, and also, hey, this is awesome type news is actually this Saturday, as we're recording this, so June 30th, is the All Handmade Craft Show at Who North America.
Nice.
Which they tried to have last year, and they canceled it due to weather. It ended up being just high winds and lots of rain, and grossness. So that was smart on their part. But this year they're gonna try it again, and they're gonna have it rain or shine, unless it's like really bad, like tornadoes type thing. But right now, I think it'll be okay. Unfortunately, I'm not going. I have actually a wedding to go to on Saturday, so I actually have to go out of town. I can't go, unfortunately. But if you are thinking of going, you may want to plan accordingly as far as getting there, parking, and that sort of thing, because they are possibly expecting an increase in attendance, because they were featured in an article on sci-fi.com.
I saw that. Awesome!
Which got spread. Obviously, we shared it. A lot of friends that are, know the shop, shared it. Sci-fi obviously shared it on their social media. I don't know exactly, how many shares it's had, but I do want to say I did see someone rather big share the article. She retweeted it. I saw it on her Twitter feed. Ashley Eckstein,
Wow.
the voice of Ahsoka Tano and the creator and owner of Her Universe, shared this article on her Twitter feed. I was like,
awesome.
Okay then. All right. Well, that may get them some exposure. So,
I just finished
Just a bit?
Just a bit.
I just finished her book this morning.
Yeah, I have it. I'm about halfway through.
Very good read.
Yes. So Lou actually just had her on a couple weeks ago, like not last month, actually talking about her book and everything. So, but yeah, I saw that in my Twitter feed and saw it got shared by her. I'm like, alrighty then. Well, that's good for Who North America. Yay! So you go, guys. I hope the crowds are good, are decent on Saturday, and I hope that all the vendors that are coming to sell their wares or have a pleasant experience. I think it's going to be stupid hot, unfortunately, on Saturday. So if you are planning on going, whether you're a vendor or you're just going to go to the shop and go check out stuff, stay hydrated, put on sunscreen, go inside, take advantage of the air conditioning. So right now I think it's supposed to be like 90 degrees on Saturday. So, but yay for Who North America! That's exciting. Yes. Yay for them. Let's see. Moving on to some trailers. We first got. I'll do these in the other episode order. But okay, so we've got a teaser for Tim Burton's live-action Dumbo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't know. It's definitely not the same story as the animated movie.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense because if you're doing a live action version, you want human characters, which the animated Dumbo really didn't have any other than the background. It was all animals and stuff, so it's like, well, it's just a circus version of the Jungle Book, but now they've got human characters in it, and they're the ones teaching him how to fly, I guess? I don't know. I was confused.
Yeah.
But it's only a teaser, so it's... I mean, considering how excited I was for Christopher Robin, I could take or leave this one right now.
Yeah.
But I may change my mind.
Yeah.
I am open to changing my mind.
Yeah. Dumbo's never been one of my favorites. It's I mean, it's a good story. It's classic Disney animation. It's got its funny bits. It's cute. but I can't hear Baby Mine without like bursting into tears. Though,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and this version kind of sounded a little creepy.
Yeah, it's like creepy at the same time. I'm like, I'm gonna cry. So, well,
I don't know. I liked Dumbo growing up. My favorite was always, and when I was a kid, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand the context, but I always loved the pink elephants part. And I don't know how that's if they're even gonna bother trying that, although it is Tim Burton, but it's like, how's that gonna work in live action?
well,
I don't know.
If anybody can adapt psychedelic drunk Dumbo sequence, it's Tim Burton's. So.
That is true. I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to describe why I like that part so much. Just as a kid, I just thought it was funny because the elephants all did really crazy, creepy, weird things, and it appealed to me. Yeah. And then I got older and realized what was going on. It's like, I still like it.
Yeah. So
we'll see.
Yeah. Right now, I'm probably gonna give it a pass, but we'll see. On the other hand, and this is not Disney, but I don't care. We got a trailer for The Grinch. And every time I've seen this trailer, and I've seen it multiple times online, but I've also seen it once in the theater.
Same here. Oh
and
my
the
gosh.
screaming goat every time. Oh my God. I don't know why screaming goats amuse me so much, but they do. And the screaming goat. In here just cracks that in the snow. He's like, this is the loudest snow I've ever heard in my life. Oh. It looks cute. I love the idea that they're giving it looks like they're going to give the Grinch some backstory about why he's so grumpy and why he hates the Who's in Whoville and all that fun stuff. And it looks like it's going to be fun. And I'll tell you what, if I didn't know that was Benedict Cumberbatch playing the Grinch, I would not be able to tell you that is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Me either.
Yeah, it does not sound like any accent I've ever heard him do in all the stuff I've ever seen him in. So, go Benedict.
Yeah. It looks like Max is going to be stealing some scenes in that one too.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm excited for the Grinch. I know the Grinch is one of those Christmas staples that's like, you know, there was the Jim Carrey one, which we don't talk about.
I actually don't think I've fully seen that one.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
I used to watch it all the time just because it was always come up on ABC Family, or, you know, back when it was ABC Family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can take or leave it, but yeah, this new one will be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it looks cute. Let's see, going back to Disney, because we've not done the news in a couple of weeks, the Disney Fox purchase has experienced a little bit of drama. The parent, so I don't know how long ago it was, it's been now, that Disney offered a crap ton of money and some other things to Fox to buy everything, essentially. And we were all like, okay, yay, get the rest of the MCU characters, especially the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, in with the rest of the Marvel characters, and then that just leaves Spider-Man over at Sony, and we'll take care of that eventually. And we were all just kind of like, just waiting. It's like, okay, well, we'll start the legal process and the FTC and all that fun stuff that has to go with it. It's like, we'll just sit around and wait, and eventually it'll happen, and everything will be hunky-dory. And then Comcast comes along. With a bigger pile of money. And Fox goes, hold on a minute, Disney.
Can I put you on hold, please?
Yeah, let me count these dollar bills. We'll get back to you.
Hold my adult beverage, please.
Yes. So it kind of looked like maybe the Disney purchasing Fox and getting all those Marvel characters was not going to happen. But apparently Disney went and searched under all the couch cushions and underneath the rug and in the armrest in the car, and
Cleaned out BB-8.
And found a few more coins, and has now offered Fox $71.3 billion with a B dollars. Yeah. So,
wow.
And apparently Fox has seen that and gone, Comcast, hold that thought. Disney, tell me more.
We're listening.
Yes, you've got my attention. Wine me,
Continue.
dine me. Yeah, sweep me off my feet.
Yes.
So apparently
That's
Fox.
Tony Stark money right there.
Yeah. So apparently Fox, on paper but not legal paper, has accepted this deal. I'm doing air quotes that you can't see. Accepted this deal. That does not mean that Comcast or someone else couldn't come along with a bigger pile of money, but odds are not likely to happen because that's a big pile of money.
Yes.
A huge chunk of change.
Yes.
Quite a bit. And actually, I'm pleased to hear that Disney came back and said, here, have more money, because the thought, I don't like Comcast. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
just in general.
they don't have the best reputation in general.
Yeah, and there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
They're jerks.
Yeah.
And that's saying it, that's keeping it PG on our
Yeah.
on our podcast here.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess right now the ball technically is in Comcast court, and they can decide to, sell a kidney or something and come back,
Sell
or they
the
can,
mega corporation version of a kidney.
yeah, or they can put their proverbial tail between their legs and walk away back into the sunset with their terrible customer service and.
Terrible customer service and stupid networks and other dumb things that they do that I don't really want to go into right now. But
they can go back to doing what they do worse.
Yep.
I don't want to say best, except being worst is what they do best, I guess.
Yep.
So here's hoping that this sticks and the FTC and all that fun stuff approve it and we can get this thing going so that we can get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and all those characters back where they belong.
Yep.
So, cross our fingers.
Yep.
So, we'll see. Watch this space. We'll see what happens. So, alright, moving on to some awards. For once, we had an awards ceremony that actually had winners of things that we actually care about. First were nominated and then actually won. So, yay. So the MTV Movie Awards were recently occurred. And
and if you haven't seen Chris Pratt's little speech that he did, I mean, it's been all over the internet,
yes.
but go find it. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Chris Pratt's having a
He's
moment.
a treasure.
Yep. Chris Pratt's been having a moment.
Yep.
He's having a summer, really.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, winners include Best Movie, Black Panther. Best Show, Stranger Things. Best Performance in a Movie, Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther. Best Performance in a Show, Millie Bobby Brown for Stranger Things. Best Hero, Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther. Best Villain, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger in Black Panther. Most frightened performance, Noah Schnapp in Stranger Things. Best fight, Wonder Woman versus the German soldiers in Wonder Woman, so that went to Gal Gadot. And best music documentary, Gaga 5'2".
Cool. Neat.
Which I've seen. I've seen everything on here. And I liked everything on here, so I was like, yes! Stuff I like! Winning!
Yes.
Yay! We like this.
Doesn't happen very often, so let's celebrate this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and then, I know I shared it on our Facebook page, but since I've shared it, voting is actually closed. But the voting was open for the Teen Choice Awards. And there were lots of things that we like that were listed in several categories. So once the Teen Choice Awards happen, I'm sure we'll be doing something similar where, yay, things we like won. So.
Yep. And then a few months down the road, People's Choice.
Yes. Yep. And then the Frou-Frou award season will start all over again, and we'll all be like, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at all these things that we've never heard of win stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So at least for the summertime, we get to bask in the MTV Movie Awards and the Teen Choice Awards and the People Choice Awards.
and the fun, the Happy Fun Time Choice Awards.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards, you know.
Yeah, or the Dragon Con Awards for books and things.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if voting's open for that, but when I hear about it, I will let people know.
Yeah.
They always nominate cool stuff.
Yeah.
And anyone can vote whether or not you're going to Dragon Con or not. So. I just think it's funny because, you know, we have our affiliate, our brother podcast, Traveling the Vortex, and those guys are like big movie buffs, and, you know, Oscar season comes around and they're on that like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they talk about all the Oscar movies and how you know, they go see them, they have their Oscar parties and guests and all that kind of stuff, and we're sitting here going like,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't like.
Well, isn't that what kid sisters are supposed to do, though?
Yeah. Like, I watch the Oscars, and it's mostly to see what everybody's wearing. It's like,
Or just hope against hope that one of the things that we love that did get nominated might actually win.
yeah, that never happens.
I know.
Except for, like, the special effects.
Yeah, the
categories.
technical awards.
Or soundtrack.
Yeah. Sometimes we get lucky with, like, best song. Or best animated feature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually Disney or Pixar will win in that category, so. We'll see. We shall see. So. But that's good, so yay. And then our last bit of fandom news is Fandom Christmas is quickly approaching next month. Yay! And while Marvel is not really doing much, at least as far as panels, if you have not heard, Marvel's not doing anything at Hall H at San Diego this year. Why? I do not know, but...
They probably just need a break between the movies.
Maybe, I don't know. But, that being said, Doctor Who is going to be having a presence at San Diego Comic-Con, so the cast of Series 11 will be having a panel, which will include Jodie Whittaker, our new Doctor, and she will be joined with two of her co-stars, Tosin Cole and Mandeep Gill. And then along with Chris Chibnall and executive producer Matt Stevens. So, if we've not seen anything as far as, you know, trailers or anything, I know that there was a leak today.
Oh, I missed the leak.
We will not share, because we do not do that sort of thing, and I'm not going to actively go look for it, but apparently it's a clip from Jodie Whittaker's, you know, first season of The Doctor has leaked. I don't know how long it is. As far as I can tell, I don't know if it's really of anything significant as far as potential spoilers, but still.
Yeah.
But still, there was a rumor that we were going to get some sort of trailer or something during the World Cup when England played. They have played several matches and nothing's happened yet, so that there may have not been a whole lot of weight to that rumor, and especially considering Fandom Christmas is in less than a month, I think, at this point. We will probably get something from San Diego. More than likely.
They'll save it to make the big splash at San Diego Comic-Con, because I mean, why post it online or play it where only a fraction of your audience is watching, where San Diego Comic-Con, that's where you bring out the big guns.
Yeah. Although we did get Jodie's casting announcement during Wimbledon, so
that is true, but Wimbledon came after Comic-Con, didn't it?
It was.
I don't
think so. Maybe it was. I don't remember. I barely know what the date is half the time. So.
Yeah, I only remember because I don't think Alex had been born yet, so it might have been in July.
Yeah.
But
I think it's been about it. I think
Comic-Con. I don't know.
Yeah. So. We'll see. I mean, maybe if England goes on a tear and makes it to the World Cup final, maybe they'll change their mind. But
they're like, here, we need to celebrate.
Yeah, here's some Doctor Who, because nothing says Britain like soccer and Time Lords. So.
All right.
Well, who knows? But yay!
Real quick, because I looked it up. It was announced last July 16th.
There you go.
Okay.
Ta-da! Alright. Cool. Alrighty then. So that's it for news. So, for this week, we are going to do some reviews of various things, various forms of media. So, what would we like to do first? Do we want to do the book? Do we want to do the comic book? Do we want to do movies?
Doesn't matter to me. Viewer's choice.
Let's do the comic book, just because that's something we have not done.
No.
So it'll be a nice change of pace for us. We've done books, we've done movies, we've done all sorts of things. We've not really done comic books. So
yes,
not that we don't necessarily don't want to. It's just not something we've really gotten around to.
It gets pushed to the back burner sometimes.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Especially when there's 5 bazillion movies coming out.
So many things to talk about, and that we only have one podcast a week.
Yeah. I've got so many movie ticket stubs from the last couple of weeks. It's crazy, but we'll get to that. So, the comic we're going to take a look at here is a new comic, because this is issue 1. It is called Vengeance Nevada. And it is written by BJ Mendelson, and actually BJ contacted us, out of the blue. I should ask him how he found us in the first place, and offered to send us issue 1 of his new comic, and we're like, sure, why not? That's something we haven't done before, comics. So he sent the PDF to us so that we could read it, and let's see. It is story and characters are by him. The art and letters are by, and he gave me with the pronunciation. I'm still gonna butcher this guy's name probably. Sorry. Interior art and letters are by Peter Chaplarski. And then the cover art is by Isidore Colavras. He did not give me a pronunciation for that person's name. I'm sorry. So, all right. So let's get into the comic itself. So it's sci-fi. And it is, it takes place in post-apocalyptic Nevada and futuristic Chicago and a little bit of Los Angeles as well. So there's aliens and superheroes, people with powers, and zombies and all sorts of things. So at least the first issue follows this woman named Kristen, who works for some sort of sheriff's department that takes care of zombies, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's some sort of supernatural police department.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It bounces between some flashback and then present day. But most of it takes place, I think, during the flashback to when she was working a shift for the sheriff's department at the California-Nevada border. And I do like the pop culture references that he put in here. She's listening to David Bowie, Life on Mars. In her patrol vehicle. And she's on the radio with, I guess, some sort of dispatcher, I guess. And he's like, all wings reported. And she's like, Red 5 standing by.
Yep. Yeah. Nice Star Wars reference.
Yeah. And between her conversation with him and Glenn, that's his name, it gives us some background on her, on Kristen. So she's got a son named Ben, and at the time they're getting ready for his birthday party. I guess Glenn and they didn't really specify whether it's a partner or what. Steven, it could be his son, I don't know. I guess it's assuming some sort of partner, because he says that Steven and I took Robbie, which I'm assuming is their son probably, to Target to find a birthday gift for Ben, and it's Star Wars related.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like,
I love that. Is it the original trilogy? No, it's the cartoon. He's like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we'll love it anyway, and that's what matters.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kristen is married to a guy named Jake, who is not Ben's father, but apparently has taken in Ben like he's his own son. And apparently Jake's very much, Kristen's got like this exciting job-ish, supposedly. She makes it sound like he's kind of like a homebody and doesn't really do anything exciting. He's supposedly supposed to be at an insurance industry conference, but as she's talking about how great Jake is with Ben, we see Jake is actually on a mission of some sort with this group of powered people. And she's talking about how amazing Jake is and all this fun stuff. All her talking is laid over these folks fighting, and there's people blasting sorts of things out of their eyes, and there's some creepy people wearing some masks that kind of look like the dark elves from Thor. she's talking about how amazing Jake is, and in the process, while she's unfortunately Jake gets killed. In while she's talking, and apparently she doesn't know that because he's off one place and she's doing her shift. But then this shape-shifting alien shows up. That apparently can take on all sorts of forms, any form. And we get the story about how there's been this conflict between the, I don't know how to pronounce this, the Syntherians?
That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah.
That's how I was pronouncing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be right.
Yeah. But apparently this particular creature has been following Kristen, and at least for part of her life, and was there when her mother died. Supposedly this creature actually took Kristen's mother from her and offers her a weapon that this blade that belonged to a priestess, and her soul was fused with this weapon and giving it immense power. It says it was her duty to protect the Ceranthian settlements. They were refugees running from a long-forgotten evil. Earth was supposed to be their sanctuary. So apparently, this race was on the run, came to Earth to hide, but whatever was trying to kill them was chasing them, but that wasn't what actually killed them. It was actually, they were actually killed in the battle in Afghanistan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I guess we
what
can.
it sounded like.
Yeah. Because this creature is talking to her. So he says, what you fought in Afghanistan was their dead, the last remaining of the Ceranthian Empire. But I don't know if she means specifically Kristen or just you, like humans in general, or the military. So I don't know if Kristen was military before she became part of the office or what. But she gets offered this sword, and she takes it, but in the process she becomes like mind melded with this shapeshifter. So, and then we see yeah, and then we switch to Chicago, and we meet up with, I guess this was some of Jake's team, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it from the earlier pages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, what of Jake's team that survived the conflict comes together with meets up with this gal named Liberty, and they decide that they are going to. I guess they know that Kristen has been compromised, I guess, and they're gonna team up and fix it.
Yeah,
it's definitely an interesting
So
ragtag group of players. We got tall, short. There's a gorilla smoking a pipe. So, I mean, I'm definitely intrigued. I definitely, it's interesting. It's an interesting premise. I do have to say I struggled a little following what was happening, and some of that may I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the artwork. The artwork's actually great.
Oh yeah, the artwork.
And I like the very minimal coloring too.
But I so the going from like almost full color to partial color to just straight up black and white, I think is part of my problem, because I was having trouble keeping track of characters, especially once you throw in this shapeshifter that takes on Kristen's form or takes her over or something, and I wasn't quite following when we see the attack on Jake and his folk, his team, that was supposed to be her, but not her. So, I almost wonder if it was in full color and we could see, like, the color of her eyes, because we see the color of her eyes change when she gets taken over, if that might have made it a little easier to follow. So... But like I said, I definitely love like the pop culture references. Star Wars, the David Bowie. There's stuff in the background. There's zombie Ann Landers, brains and feelings.
Yeah. Well, kind of the whole story. I mean, it kind of feels like a melding of pulp and noir kind of storytelling. With the, these are all, like you were talking about, the ragtag group of Jake's team. Like, there's a gorilla smoking a pipe. And so, like, that could be funny, but it's also, kind of played seriously. Like, they're going to be the ones to save, or, fix what's going on, what's wrong. And it's, I'm looking at these characters. I'm like, I want to know their stories, like who they are specifically, each one, not just, they're the team. And it seems like, if you keep going, it feels like there's the promise of you're going to meet these people and understand their story and what's going on. So it doesn't feel like you're just, left hanging. It's, when it says to be continued, that, that is that it's literally it's going to be continued. You're going to find out what all this is going on. And it's an interesting premise. And at first I thought, I'm reading it and I thought, oh, Kristen, she's going to be the main hero. But then she becomes, she's not the villain, but the villain has taken her over or something, because she took the sword that she was offered. And that allowed her to be, taken over by this creature, this villain sort of thing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm interested. I want to find out more, like what happens, and and it seems like it's an independent indie comic. So I'm like, yeah, let's this is the kind of thing I'd like to support and definitely see what happens from here. It's like, and like you said, all the little background touches, zombie Ann Landers. That's just awesome. Yeah. So.
Well, and anybody that puts David Bowie into a comic, I'm like, well, you got me there.
Oh yeah. So it's kind of a mix of all the things that kind of tickle my fancy, as it were. So I'm like, what, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Yeah. It's like noir meets Stranger Things, kind of.
Yeah.
With the pop culture references and interdimensional beings. So it's like, if you're a fan of Stranger Things, this might kind of be up your alley, especially if they continue with, those pop culture references and stuff mixed in with the sci-fi and everything. So, but I'd definitely be interested to see, if the style, that minimal color, some full color, some no color, if that continues. And that sort of thing.
I felt like the color was used to be like, here, this is something very, very important, because where it's a digital, and I'm not sure if this is going to go into print or not, but where it's digital, because in print comics you have the full page spread, and that's like your big centerpiece, like this is something awesome and big that's happening. But in digital, it's a little harder to do that. I mean, you can, but it's a little more difficult. So it's like, here, this is, where there's color, And even some of the speech bubbles are blue at the beginning, and then they turn black and white again.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of feel like maybe they're using color to bring attention to certain things, or to make certain things more memorable in that kind of way. So, I'm like, I didn't, grow up reading comics. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but, as far as the artwork and the coloring and stuff, I think it definitely helps it help tell the story.
Yeah.
It's like the panel or the page with the sword. When it comes out, there's this little pop of orange, but on this mostly black and white panel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and the speech bubbles at the very beginning, they're blue because at that point it's Kristen's, I guess, body, but it's not her. But like she still has all of her memories, because this is after she's taken the sword and been taken over, and she goes to LA to a friend's house, and it lets her right in because it has like this facial recognition technology, and it's like an identity confirmed. So as far as it knows, it's her. So it lets her right in. But her eyes are like this blue, and then the speech bubbles are blue. But then her friend's cat is there, and she calls the cat by name. So, but she refers to Kristen in the third person. So, but then she's like, all the people I know are dead. So, she's like, oh, the only people who know about this place are dead. So, we'll see. Interesting. So,
yeah.
But if anybody's interested and wants to check it out, it is, you can go and purchase it and subscribe to the entire series on Comixology. So.
Yeah, and again, it's called Vengeance Nevada by BJ Mendelson.
Yep. And
thanks, BJ, for the review copies. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I
was pleasantly surprised to hear about that.
Yeah, we'll make sure to link to his website in the show notes. He's a author. So I guess this is his first comic. So maybe not his first comic, but he's also wrote some books about like social media and stuff, and I guess he does some speaking engagements. And apparently he's also a mall Santa. So if you need a Santa Claus that also can write your comic book, there you go.
A jack of all trades.
Yes. So, yeah. I'll make sure to link to that in the show notes. People can check it out. So,
yep. Awesome.
Yep. All right. So, we want to do the book next.
Yeah, I'll do the book. I mean, the book I wanted to review. I mean, I've been reading a lot of things, but the one I really wanted to talk about, and I'm only about halfway through it, just because life's gotten in the way. But it's really good, and I'm probably like one of the last people on the planet to have read it. It's Artemis by Andy Weir. If you remember him, you might remember him the guy who wrote The Martian, which is excellent in its own right, and everyone should read that one. Artemis is very different. It's not. It's set kind of far in the future. It's set on the moon. It's very different characters, and it's more of a heist story. Although the first half, I've just barely gotten to the part where there's the actual heist. The first half has been uncovering this, secret plot between the government and the gangsters and everything going there. But I've just had a lot of fun with it so far. I wouldn't say it's as good as The Martian, but that's kind of unfair because The Martian is like amazing and super. I don't know. I to me, it's like off the charts. One of my favorite books, which I did not expect when I read The Martian. Artemis, I kind of was like, okay, I know Andy Weir's style. I am familiar with kind of the things he writes about. So I kind of, like, The Martian took me off guard. Artemis is like, it's kind of more of the same, but different.
Right.
And so it's a little bit, I kind of feel like I know what to expect, so I don't have that wow factor quite so much, but that's not Andy Weir's fault, because this is his second book, and people are familiar with him. Holy cow, are they familiar with him? As they should be. But it's solid so far. I don't imagine anything between now and when I finish the book is going to completely turn me off the story unless it's something really, really terrible. But it's just so the main character, her name is Jasmine Bashara, I believe. They call her Jazz, and she is kind of a smart aleck, but she's funny. There are a few things about her that kind of irritate me, but I can get over that, and I'm gonna write a whole big review for Goodreads, so I don't want to spoil that quite now. But I mean, it's worth reading. There's some, I mean, I love her interactions with Rudy, who's the cop on the city of Artemis. So basically, Artemis is a city on the moon. They've colonized the moon in this one little town. Well, little town, but there's people from all over the planet who live there. So and it's very unregulated, which allows this crime syndicate to kind of sneak in and do their thing. But I mean, there's a mayor, and so there's a lot. It's got a lot of things going for it that kind of tramp down big crime. So it's more like petty thievery. And Jazz is involved in like smuggling and things like that. So she's kind of a, Han Solo-ish character, I guess.
Yeah. And while trying to work her way up to the top and get her dream job.
yeah. I mean, she's trying to work through things. She's very snarky, sarcastic. Some comments I've seen kind of call her, she's the female Mark Watney, which I'm kind of like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy Weir, write what you know.
Exactly.
And some people didn't like that, and I'm like, well, that's your prerogative. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. So if you liked The Martian, you'll probably enjoy Artemis. And I'm just getting to the point where she's, getting to the heist part of the story. So there is a heist. I mean, I that's what I'd heard about it when I started, and you kind of takes a while to get to that part. I'm like, I was promised a heist. Where is it? It's there eventually. Oh, but I do have to mention one thing, and this made me giggle. So there is a pub in Artemis that Jazz goes to. It's called Hartnell's. The owner is Nathan Lee. Yep. And I was like, that's right, Andy Weir's a Doctor Who fan. I was like, that has to be a nod to William Hartnell. So I like that. And Billy, he has he doesn't have a huge part, but he comes up several times in the book, and she goes to Hartnell's a couple of times too. So, there's a little Easter egg for Doctor Who fans. I was like, I see what you did there.
And for those who aren't too big on the reading, but like the audiobook is read by Rosario Dawson.
Nice.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Sweet.
I'm in the middle of watching Luke Cage, so.
There you go.
And apparently they announced there's going to be a film.
Cool.
Well, The Martian did well, so.
Yeah. Well, and as well it should.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't either read the book or seen the movie The Martian, The Martian's one of those that I'm like, read the book or watch the movie. Both are excellent.
I haven't done either.
I have a funny story about it.
too.
So when I was on my honeymoon, the cruise had the movie up top. You could go see a movie under the stars, sort of a thing. And The Martian was one of them. And I'd already read the book and I'd already seen the movie. But you're on a cruise. How many times do you get to see a movie while you're on a boat?
Mm-hmm.
So we saw the movie. And then we had a couple more days on our cruise. I had my Kindle with me. I read the book again, and I read it while I was on my honeymoon. It was that one and Son of the Black Sword by Larry Correa that I read on my honeymoon. So I'm like, those are my two books that I just, and I finished them because they're both quite good for different reasons, which maybe someday I'll review the other one, maybe when the sequel comes out, but yeah, so I'm like that. It was fun. I like Andy Weir's stuff. I hope he keeps writing and keeps up the good quality.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to admit I've never read Artemis or The Martian, and I own The Martian. Like, I don't know when that happened, but I have The Martian in my bookshelf. I'm like, I should start reading that.
You should. You should. It is.
I heard so many good things from so many people. Like, maybe I'll bring it up to Maine and read it on vacation.
That would actually be a really good plan. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of book. Like, you just want to sit and read it because it's like I don't want to stop. Like Artemis, I'm like, okay, I can put this down and go do something else for a while, and maybe that's just because I'm in a different place in my life compared to when I was reading The Martian. But there are just sometimes I'm like, okay, I need a little bit of a break, but it's still good. Like, when I say it's not quite as good as The Martian is a really, really high bar to clear. So it's still worth it.
Cool. Well, speaking of movies, I said I personally have been tacking up the movie ticket stubs, virtual and paper. Thank goodness for apps. I'm like, I'm done with work for the day. What's playing? Thank you, AMC and Regal. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I, in the last week week or two, I personally have seen 4 movies in the theaters.
Well, it is the summer movie season.
It is. So I started.
It's hot enough outside.
Yeah, really.
Might as well go inside and watch a movie.
2-3 hours in the air conditioning nonstop. Yes, thank you. So I started my binge with Ocean's 8, which is the newest entry in the Ocean's franchise. You could consider it a spin-off, I guess, would probably be the best word for it. So this is the all-female driven Ocean's film with Sandra Bullock as Danny Ocean's sister, and her team of female, I can't say all of them are criminals, because not all of them are criminals. Most of them are criminals, but not all of them. There's at least one who's not a criminal, but she just goes along with it because she really needs the money. But I mean, the Ocean's movies, I love the 3 that they did with George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all of those folks. I thought those were always been great movies. What I love about the Ocean's franchise is they're all heist movies when it comes down to it, which is pretty straightforward. You got some people that want to go someplace and steal some stuff that doesn't belong to them. Pretty straightforward premise. But in this modern age, they do it with some very high-tech stuff and also some low-tech stuff. But the high-tech stuff is really cool as technology, real-life technology has changed and upgraded. They've been able to pull that into the Oceans. Yeah, the Oceans, especially the second or third one, got kind of ridiculous with the giant drill to create an earthquake. It got a little crazy. This time not so much, but it does incorporate things like 3D printing, which comes in really handy for some of the stuff that they want to do. just like with the other Oceans movies, I don't want to give anything away, but just like the other 3 movies, you watch things occur, and you get to a certain point, and you're like, oh yeah, I see what's going on here, and then they go, hold on a moment, there's some things you missed. Let us show you what you missed, and then you're like, wait, what?
Uh-huh.
And they did that twice in this movie. There was a hold on a moment, which the first hold on a moment, I was expecting not exactly what happened, but I was expecting the overall type. It's really hard without giving things away. Like, you get, usually with the Oceans movies, if you've seen any of them, you know, it's like you've got the team, but there's almost always like one other player that's involved, but they don't let you know that that person was actually involved until after the fact. That was the case here again, where I'm like, they're introducing all these people that aren't necessarily part of the team. I'm like, one of y'all is involved, and you just have not told us yet. And then once they drop who it is, I'm like, okay. But then they drop this whole other thing, like, wait a minute, while you were paying attention to this other thing was happening, and I was like, what? And it involves bringing in someone from the all-male Oceans team. So there's a couple of cameos. One of them doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the actual heist, and then the other one does. I was like, oh, they brought you back. Okay, that's cool. So, but it's smart. It's smart. It kept me. Unfortunately, with these movies, you know, you once you watch it and you know the twists, you can't necessarily, the way they did the twists in this one, you can't necessarily go back and look for the clues. Oh, maybe you could. Maybe I kind of do want to watch it again just to see if there were clues that I was just completely oblivious to. Actually, now that I think about it. So, I think this is definitely one that you could maybe watch twice. Once you get over the initial shock, you're like, okay, I need to watch that again, knowing what I know now, to see if I can, like, did they give us any clues? But it is super smart. These movies, they always get me with the twists at the end, where I'm like, oh, I did not see that coming. So, and the cast is great. It's a great mix of characters. You know, Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett together, playing off on each other. It's very, you know, she's Danny Ocean's sister. Cate Blanchett is kind of the Brad Pitt to, you know, her Danny. So it was good. I really enjoyed it. I didn't have a lot of high expectations, just because these movies are so smart, and it's like, can you recapture that lightning in a bottle, and but it's very in the same vein, you know, with the music and some of the cut scenes and the cinematography and everything. So I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about it, so like it might be one I catch, maybe like on Netflix or.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
something.
one that you necessarily need to rush to the movie theater to see, but maybe once it's out on like Redbox or something, definitely rent it. It's definitely a rental. Watch at home with a big old pile of popcorn. Just don't get up in the middle and go to the bathroom or anything unless you hit pause, because you'll miss something important probably. And then let's see. After that, I saw the Mr. Rogers documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor, which I loved. I absolutely loved. I love documentaries in the first place, especially when they're pop culture related. I love Mr. Rogers. You kind of have to like not have a heart not to love Mr. Rogers. Honestly, you have to like not have a pulse to not love Mr. Rogers. But this is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It's unfortunate that it's in such a limited release. The only reason I got to see it is because there's only one theater in the Indianapolis area that is showing this movie, and I just happened to be on that side of town because I had a doctor's appointment. I got out of my doctor's appointment, I'm like, can I get there in 30 minutes? I'm gonna try. And I did.
Good job. There's your reward for being good at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Some kids get lollipops. You took yourself to a movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it was pouring buckets too, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stay inside. Thank you very much. But yeah, I love this movie. It's, there's a lot of stuff I already knew. There's stuff that I did not know about Fred Rogers himself and the TV program. There's a great amount of behind the scenes footage that I've never seen before.
Wow.
Both on set of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and also Fred at like schools and daycare centers and things with like children. There's great insight from people that knew him, his wife, his kids, obviously some of the folks that were on the program. There's some folks from the I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's like the Fred Rogers like Institute or whatever in Pittsburgh, so just friends, people that knew Fred at different points in his life. So it's a feel good movie. It's for being a documentary. I got a little verklempt, not because it's necessarily sad, but just the nostalgia of it. Because, even the movie, because it's about Mr. Rogers, it's going to start with the opening theme song from the TV show. So it's like, the music started like, won't you be my neighbor? I'm like, yes, I'll
You're
be.
like, there it is.
Yes, yes, I'll be your neighbor. And I laughed and I cried a little, happy tears, but the people, I don't know how many people were in the theater with me, and not a whole lot, but I could hear people chuckling and stuff. So it's really good. I hope it ends up on Netflix at once it's done with its theatrical run, because it definitely needs more exposure.
I kind of wonder if that's because I've heard of documentaries doing these theatrical runs where normally because they want to get on Netflix. There's some provision, and I can't remember what it is exactly, but they have to have a theatrical run in order to be on Netflix. It's something about documentaries, and I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly, but it's there's a reason for it. So I'm like, I feel like it'll probably be on Netflix when it's done in theaters. So
probably.
I hope so, because I want to see it, and I don't know of anywhere near me that has it.
Yeah, it also may need a certain amount of theatrical release to be eligible for like awards and stuff. So
yeah,
this is one that I hopefully it gets come Academy time, that in the documentary category that this gets nominated for an Oscar. So.
Yeah, the Oscars are snobby, but if you're gonna turn down Mr. Rogers, you have no soul.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's so good. And I love Mr. Rogers. So, like I said, who doesn't? You have to have no soul to not love Mr. Rogers. So, but if you grew up with watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and want to know more about the man behind the show, definitely watch this however you get the chance to. So, and then Well, it was the biggest release. It all broke all sorts of records for when it did get released. It's not number one in the box office anymore because of another movie that just came out. But what was the biggest movie in the box office there for a short while? Incredibles 2.
Yes.
Which
Awesome.
Yes. So good. I made sure to rewatch The Incredibles, right before going to see it, which is good because kind of like Black Panther after Civil War, it picks up literally right where the previous movie ended.
Yep.
It's been 14 years for us. It has been 30 seconds for the Parr family.
Yeah. And I love the little mini movie that they put in front of it too.
Oh yeah, the Pixar short Bow. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was really adorable. So it'll probably be one that gets nominated come award season. The shorts tend to get nominated. They don't necessarily win, but they do get nominated. And then Incredibles will probably get nominated as well. But it was good. I loved it. I love The Incredibles. I think I probably appreciate them more now than when they originally came out, just because I'm more into superheroes now. So it definitely gets me in the I love people with powers and who wear spandex part of my brain and my heart. Although I'm pretty
of Jack and Edna.
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure Edna Mode is my spirit animal. There needed to be more Edna. There's never enough Edna in these movies. Can we get Edna her own movie?
Yeah.
An entire feature-length movie of just Edna just dressing every superhero and just giving them her opinion on
On everything.
On everything. So.
Animated version of Tony Stark and Edna.
Yeah.
Well, there is an animated Avengers show, isn't there? There was. So yeah, there you go. Put Edna in that.
There you go.
They're both owned by Disney. It can happen.
It can. It absolutely can. So it's really funny because I am so, Marvel. Marvel has taken up so much part of my brain. I was almost expecting a Stan Lee cameo in this movie.
Me too. I mean, they did a big hero. I was like, okay. I'm going to pay attention. Where's Stan Lee? Oh, that's right, Ron.
Yeah, this isn't Marvel. Dang it.
Wrong group of superheroes.
Wrong group of superheroes.
Wrong Fantastic Four, guys.
Yeah, really. This is the Fantastic Four movie we all want. This is what we get. I will take the Incredibles over the Fantastic Four any day. So, although really they're the Fantastic Five.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Thanks to
Now
Jack.
Jack now.
Yeah. So, it's funny how watching Bob and the kids handle Jack once his powers manifest and just start going haywire all over the place. So.
Well, then Frozone too, like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Num cookie?
Yeah, num cookie. No spoilers, but if you don't like raccoons, you're really gonna love Jack.
Yes.
Oh no.
If you have a thing against raccoons, sorry, Rocket.
Yeah. So Rocket's probably not gonna like Jack.
Yeah, Rocket's not gonna like Jack.
Nope.
So the plot is pretty predictable. It's you get to a certain point, I'm like, yeah, I think I could see where we're going with this. I just don't know who exactly is going to be the guilty party. And it's like, oh, yep, there we go. There's the guilty party. Yeah, I was expecting.
Yep.
I didn't know exactly who. I just
either way, and then it's like, okay, sorry, you're an evil party.
Like, and we got there.
Yep. It's like, and there's the shoe. There's the shoe gone. But it's just, it's so good, and it's animated so well, and the characters are just, so fun to watch. And Elastigirl giving her a chance to shine, is pretty awesome. So having the roles kind of be reversed, unlike the first movie where Bob was sneaking off and being the superhero. This time it's Elastigirl getting the chance to go off and play superhero, and Bob gets to be Mr. Mom.
Which he doesn't do too badly at.
Yeah, once he puts on it, once he gets over his ego and puts on his big boy pants, he actually does a really good job of being Mr. Mom. So,
and gets over the math homework.
Yeah. Math is math. Why'd they change math?
Yes. I think I said the same thing when I saw some of the stuff the kids do nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, and all the stuff you see in the trailers is in there, but then there's more good stuff.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you wonder when you see the trailers, like, did you just show me all the good parts and then the rest is whatever? But
and sometimes stuff that's in the trailer isn't in the final cut.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah. I hate when they do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Same.
We don't get to the movie theaters as much as we would like.
You have your own Jack.
Yeah, we do. Because Incredibles is out, and I'm like, I want to watch the first one, so we've been watching it, and Alex, he loves it. Yay. I put it on, and he's just so enthralled by it. So I'm like, okay, we need to try some more Pixar movies, because I can only... Sesame Street's great, but I need some variety.
Mm-hmm.
Bugs Life, Monsters Inc.
Yeah, we have them. Cars is one of my favorites, and so I just need to put them on and watch them. But
and definitely stick around through the end credits. There's not any sort of credit scene, but stick around for the music.
Yep.
So there's a few of our heroes we find out that they have theme songs that we hear very short snippets of in the movie. We get the full theme songs for them during the end credits. So
nice. That's good to know.
Yeah. So.
All right. Okay.
The next one on our list, I didn't put there.
I did, because I actually saw this, and I can't remember if we ever mentioned it before when it was in theaters.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to.
Okay.
Same here.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be way better than people thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jared, we rented Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle from the library, and there's like a gazillion holds on it, and we finally got it. And we just, one night, Alex was asleep, and we're like, okay, let's watch this movie. Oh my gosh, you guys. Yes, everything you've heard about it is true. This movie is better than it had any right to be. Because when we all heard, they're doing a Jumanji sequel, reboot, remake thing, we're like, why? And you know what? And there are a lot of movies, and this is made by Sony, which is kind of, Sony.
Their track record.
Their track record is not great. But I'm just like, okay, you have the talent somewhere to make these movies decent, even if it's a movie that you're like, why do we need this? Like why are you putting out garbage? Because this is awesome. Okay, everyone probably knows the premise is, the four kids get sucked into the video game because the Jumanji, the board game is like, people don't play board games anymore, so it has to lure people in some other way. And so, it's the four kids in detention, they get sucked in, and, Jack Black plays the pretty popular girl that is, they become their video game avatars. The Rock is the awkward, nerdy kid. Kevin Hart is the jock, and Karen Gillan is the shy, awkward, reserved girl who's not popular at all. And if for nothing else, all of these actors playing against their regular types, other than Kevin Hart, he just kind of plays Kevin Hart, but it's still funny. It's just so good. Like Jack Black especially, I feel like, I know he's not going to get any kind of major nominated awards, but if the Oscars were honest, about like Best Actor kind of thing. Maybe Golden Globes because they do the comedy thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have a comedy thing. Like, he is just so amazing because you're watching this and you forget that it's Jack Black. You just think it's a dude playing a dramatic teenage girl. And I mean, the setup in the beginning of the movie, because you do follow the kids around and, you know, their life and how they get into detention and stuff like that. I mean, the girl, Bethany, she's so self-absorbed. She freaks out because she can't find her phone. Like, the first thing you see her do is pose for an Instagram picture that her caption's like, "I just woke up like this." And she's laying in bed with her pillow, and on her table there's like, she's got like a mug of tea and a scone or something sitting there, and it's like all picturesque. And you can see her like adjusting the mug and the plate and putting her hair just so, and she's just, you know, that setup is important in the movie. Because then you know like what all the actors are gonna do, and then there's a scene where Karen Gillan, her character is the girl that, like, she's not popular, she's not necessarily very pretty, you know, she gets sensitive attention for not participating in gym class, and she insults the gym teacher, and it's kind of like, oops.
Who hasn't been there on a day?
That's true. But yeah, she's like, you know, when she first shows up and she's in Karen Gillan's body with the top and the short shorts and the midriff, she's like, "Where's the rest of my clothes?" And she's, you know, trying to hide and everything. But anyway, so she ends up having to kind of distract the bad guys. And, you know, so Jack Black, Bethany, is teaching her how to do the sexy walk. And so, like, Jack Black is doing it perfectly. Karen Gillan is doing it like she can't walk straight.
Oh,
and it could have been
channeling her inner Matt Smith, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And that scene, you, like, I'm describing it to you, and you think, okay, this could be absolutely terrible. It is not. It is so funny. And you can just tell that all these actors just had so much fun. And The Rock, being the little nerdy guy who has no physical ability whatsoever, and all of a sudden he like, so the kid that is The Rock in the video game, he's afraid of squirrels. and like, so there's a scene where he like has to climb up in a tree. And so The Rock is climbing, and all of a sudden he sees a squirrel, and he freaks out, and he falls out, and that's how he loses one of his lives.
He doesn't speak squirrel, no squeaker, squeaking.
No squeaker, no.
Yes, I watched Emperor's New Groove over the weekend. So those are just, I mean, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, because there are some parts that you just need to watch, and they, you know, and it's also a really good story. And, you know, I've talked about how Jared he's a hardcore gamer, and he basically said, like, yeah, those are all the goofy little tropes in video games, like, you know, the NPCs that can only say certain things over and over again. Now I can't remember what else there is, but yeah, if you're a gamer and you always think, like, oh, you know, there's never been a good video game movie, this is basically a video game movie.
Nice.
And I think, you know, if you've ever wanted to see a good video game movie, this one would definitely be a good candidate for that. But yeah, I just sitting there going, like, you know, you think Jack Black is just, he steals the show. I mean, he just disappears into that character, and it's so fun to watch. And like I said, if the Oscars were honest, they would nominate him for this, because, you know,
and he's really grown as an actor.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be all, you know, super dramatic, whatever. Just, you know, because he's playing something that is totally not what he normally does, and he does it so well.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe not Oscars, but, you know, People's Choice, something. Like, give him some kind of award for this, because he really did a fantastic job.
So anyway, I'm like, I want to watch this movie again. We had to take it back because we only had it for a week, and I'm like, I need to see this again, or maybe I should just buy it. Because I'm like, this is something I would watch over and over.
Just quick tangent with the Jack Black Christmas movie, The Holiday.
Yes, I have seen that one.
He is awesome in it. Well, you can't go wrong with Kate Winslet and Jules Law either. So
Yeah.
Yes, that one was a fun one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Jack Black is a highlight, but all of them, The Rock, Karen Gillan, even Kevin Hart. Like, Kevin Hart, I think, would be maybe the weakest part of the movie, but he still does pretty good.
He can hold his own.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, anyway.
It's definitely on my list. At the very least, I mean, it was on my list just when I heard, how good it was, but it's definitely on my list because it fits into my MCU alumni watch because of Karen. So
Nebula.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Move it up the queue a bit because it definitely. I don't know. I just think like, I haven't been terribly wowed by a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Lately, and that one just, maybe it's just because I had low expectations and it totally shattered them. But it was fun. It's like, I just need something fun to watch that I haven't seen before, and there it was.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I do have one more movie that I saw, but we're actually going to wait to talk about that next week, so we can talk about the entire franchise that is Jurassic Park / World.
Yep.
So, because I did see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So, I will say it is good. It's pretty much what you'd expect from this franchise, but they did do some interesting things to kind of break the repetitiveness, the formula, the formulaic that you expect. Yeah, that you expect from these movies. But I'm going to hold off so we can talk about that next week, so we can talk about the entire franchise, because this year is the 25th anniversary of the entire franchise. So,
holy cow, it's been that long?
Yep.
Crazy.
1993, the first Jurassic Park was released. So,
That's crazy.
yeah. So we will discuss Jurassic everything on next week's show, including Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and we will probably get into spoilers. So, fair warning for that.
Also, for our listeners, if you want to send in feedback.
Yes.
So any of our listeners, there's a good segue. Sending in feedback, send it, whether it's about Jurassic Park, World, whatever. If you saw the movie, let us know what you thought of it. We'll definitely read out read out any of your thoughts that we get. Sorry, my brain just went stupid for a second. We'll read out your thoughts on the podcast. Good, bad, or indifferent. And also any other, if we just kind of did a informal review type of show today. If you've seen anything, read anything that you want to let us know about, or just, give us your thoughts on whatever, send us feedback. Our email is 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also contact us through our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com. Go to visit us on Facebook, Instagram. You can leave a comment, or on our YouTube channel, because that's other places we get feedback. And then also help support the podcast. You can support us through Patreon or through our Amazon store, and also through our shirt shop. You can get all kinds of great 5-ish Fangirls merchandise. Mm-hmm. And thank you, as always, for listening and for supporting us and letting us squee in your ears for a few hours every week, because it's fun, and we love that you guys love us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, all right. With that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bethlehem saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Bye, everyone. You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by their respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.